What if you could murder and get away with it? What if the rules of morality didn't apply to you because you were special? Raskolnikov had asked himself this question 1,000 times. A starving young man, brilliant but broken, rejected by a cruel world that punished poverty like it was a sin. St. Petersburg, 1860s. He wandered the streets of St. Petersburg like a ghost, dreaming of a theory, a dangerous theory, a theory that would justify the unjustifiable, a theory that would change everything. He called it the theory of the extraordinary man. Some people, he believed, are above morality. Genius, visionaries, prophets. They could commit acts that ordinary mortals couldn't because they served a greater purpose. The ordinary man lives by conscience and law, bound by rules. But the extraordinary man, he creates new morality. He transcends. He acts. He takes what he believes he is owed by destiny. There was a pawnbroker in his neighbourhood. Alyona Ivanovna. She was a parasite, he told himself. She bled desperate people dry. She was a louse. Did the world not benefit from her death? He convinced himself he wasn't a criminal. He was a philosopher testing his ideas. This wasn't murder. This was necessity. This was revolution against an unjust world. On a hot July evening, Raskolnikov climbed the stairs to her apartment. His heart screamed at him to turn back. Every nerve in his body rebelled. But his mind, his cold, theoretical mind, pushed him forward. Alyona Ivanovna, old, grasping. He told himself the world would be better without her. The weight of the act was not just in the metal, but in the choice. A choice that could never be unmade. The axe fell. Alyona Ivanovna was dead before she understood what was happening. Every decision before the murder was a path chosen. Every moment after was a path haunted. But then, the door opened. Lizaveta walked in, innocent, unprepared. He killed her too. He felt no triumph, no liberation, only terror. He had expected to feel like a god. Instead, he felt like vermin. For days, he burned with fever. His mind shattered into fragments. He dreamed of the murdered women. He dreamed they were screaming, crawling toward him with dead eyes. The guilt was a physical weight. Meanwhile, a detective named Porfiry Petrovich began to investigate. He had excellent instincts about human nature, instincts that pointed directly at Raskolnikov. Porfiry knew he didn't need a weapon. He needed a crack in the soul. Porfiry played a psychological game. Each visit peeled away another layer of Raskolnikov's sanity. He would drop hints that suggested he knew the truth. Every conversation was a trap. Every glance was an accusation. Guilt destroyed him. Every person he saw was a spy. His mind had become his executioner. Reality and hallucination blended. The world was a labyrinth of his own making, and there was no escape. Then he met Sonia, a girl forced into prostitution to feed her family. She had sacrificed everything, and yet she possessed something he had lost. Faith, compassion, hope, a light in his absolute darkness. Sonia read to him from the Bible, the story of Lazarus raised from the dead. She spoke of resurrection, of redemption through suffering. And Raskolnikov, for the first time, felt something besides guilt. He felt hope. This is a searing indictment of poverty and injustice. The crime springs from desperation. It exposes the desperation of an entire society, a world where human life is weighed against survival, reason versus faith. Raskolnikov's cold rationalism colliding with Sonia's simple, radical love. Dostoevsky suggests that love and compassion are the only truths that actually matter in the end. Dostoevsky doesn't just describe guilt, he embodies it. You feel the descent into madness. The most terrifying rooms are the ones we build inside our own minds, the ones we refuse to clean. You understand why Raskolnikov's crime was the worst punishment he could ever inflict on himself. Guilt is the dust that never settles. It only waits for the wind of memory to blow it back into our eyes. The extraordinary man theory crumbles. He realizes he is not a god, he is simply human. And that capacity to feel guilt, to suffer, is precisely what makes him civilized, what makes him whole. Redemption is possible, but only through genuine human connection. Sonia refuses to abandon him. Her unconditional love begins to crack his shell. She sees his suffering and stays by his side. The turning point. Raskolnikov stands on the edge. Shadow and light, death and life, all hang in the balance. He confesses. He admits he was wrong, that his theory was a lie. He chooses truth over superiority. He makes his formal confession. The weight is finally lifting. He has stopped lying to himself. His legal punishment will be 8 years in Siberia. But the confession itself is his true salvation. In the labor camp, his suffering finally has meaning. He begins to see others as human beings. In the vastness of Siberia, the cold was a mercy. It numbed the body so the soul could finally speak. Sonia followed him even here. Her love, however fragile, endures through the frost and the years. Patience was not a virtue here. It was a survival mechanism, a slow steadying of a broken heart. The novel ends with the suggestion of resurrection. His spiritual rebirth is just beginning. He has lost everything, his freedom, his pride, but in doing so he has finally found himself. These questions are urgent today. We are tempted to believe our own justifications. That rules don't apply. We live in a world of instant judgment, yet Dostoevsky's slow, agonizing moral calculus remains more relevant than ever. We too must grapple with the psychological weight of impossible choices. Dostoevsky offers no easy answers. We are all Raskolnikov in our justifications, searching for a theory to make our own selfishness feel like destiny. His mastery lies in his refusal to simplify. He forces you to live inside the moral confusion. He didn't write with ink. He wrote with the blood of his own doubts and the fire of his own faith. He opened the closed box of the human mind. He showed us the machinery of guilt and obsession. Each sentence is a bridge between the gutter and the stars, between the murderer and the saint. Every psychological thriller since owes him a debt. He created the genre as we know it today. If you are drawn to complexity and moral ambiguity, this is essential reading. It transforms you. So the next time you justify what you know is wrong, remember Raskolnikov. The theory is a lie. We are all bound by the same moral law. We are all human, and we are all responsible. We save each other. Redemption is never solitary. It takes faith, persistence, and loyalty. If you haven't read it, I urge you to. It changes how you understand human nature and love. What did you think of his journey? Drop your thoughts in the comments below. Is confession strength? Hit subscribe so you never miss a summary of another literary masterpiece. We post every single day. Thank you for watching. Until next time, keep reading. Hope is never truly gone. Hope in this story is not a blinding sun. It is a fragile flame held by a girl who has every reason to let it go. Credits roll. Thank you for joining us on this journey through the human soul. But when two souls hold that flame, the darkness, no matter how vast, finally has something to fear. The journey is long and the path is steep, but the first step is always the same: the truth. Because truth is the only thing that can survive the fire, and from the ashes, a new man can finally grow. We leave them there on the edge of a new life, a life that must be earned day by day, breath by breath. The story doesn't end, it simply becomes yours. What will you do with the time you have been given?